All right, let's talk Cincinnati Bengals. This is a Bengals team that's made a couple of really massive moves. One of those players involved is on the screen right now, of course, but lost in the hustle and bustle of these big signings the Bengals made in terms of bringing back Higgins and Chase was a really good strategy the Cincinnati front office did regarding another player. It's kind of got missed, but there's some reports that have come out recently highlighting what the Bengals have done. It's gotten a little bit of criticism, but I think it's a really good strategy when you look at the numbers. We'll break that down in just one second, but first, I'm Nick, and this is Saturday Morning Inspection. All right, regular viewers of this channel know that there's usually two of us. My co-host had an emergency pop up. He will be out today, so it'll just be me breaking down this update from the Cincinnati Bengals that came out earlier this week. Now, everyone knows the Bengals locked down Jamar Chase and T. Higgins earlier this offseason to longer-term deals. The Bengals front office took a lot of criticism, rightly so, for how long it took, and because of that, they spent a little bit more money, allocated more cap dollars than they otherwise needed to if they would have spent more time earlier in the process locking down, signing, and extending Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. But a third player that's been sort of involved with negotiations is defensive end Trey Hendrickson, and the Bengals have been taking a really smart approach when it comes to dealing with Hendrickson. We'll break down the numbers on the other side, but let's get into the report first that was brought up earlier this week. This is courtesy of NBC Sports. The Bengals remain at an impasse with defensive end Trey Hendrickson, and Executive Vice President Katie Blackburn said on Tuesday that she'd be lying if I said I knew exactly what was going to happen with the player. Hendrickson is looking for a new contract, and the Bengals allowed him to talk about a trade with teams that might be willing to give him one. That has not led to a move, and Blackburn didn't expressly rule one out, but she also suggested that she feels like the ball is in Hendrickson's court in regarding to how he is accepting how he fits in the marketplace. I think that last sentence is very important, accepting how he fits in the marketplace. I think he should be happy at certain rates that maybe he doesn't think he'd be happy at, Blackburn said via Kelsey Conway of the Cincinnati Enquirer. I think some of it's on him to be happy at some point, and if he's not, that's what holds it up sometimes. So, it takes him to say yes to something, and also we have all the respect in the world for him. He's been a great player. We're happy to have him. And so maybe we'll find a way to get something to work. We're just going to see where it goes. So this is very interesting. It's actually very critical of Hendrickson. It comes across that way. Hendrickson then went on the Pat McAfee show and said he felt very disappointed by the remarks from Katie Blackburn. And there's a lot of people, a lot of consternation in the media about, the Bengals front office mismanaging a player once again. This isn't really the case. Let's go ahead and go into some data here. This is an interesting chart, courtesy of overthecap.com. Basically, what overthecap.com did is they looked at what position groups all the teams across the entire NFL, added them together, were cut, where players were released to free up cash, to free up dollars. And they broke it down by position group. And you can see number one in the NFL, interior defensive line. Number two is edge rusher. Now, this is kind of surprising because edge rusher is usually perceived to be a valuable position. You throw a lot of money at that group, but not so this offseason. In fact, you can make a very strong argument that the market for edge rusher is absolutely cratering right now. Most teams, when you look at the deals being made, they're looking for cheap, team-friendly, short-term deals. They don't want to throw a lot of cash, a lot of dollars at any player, even the best of the best, right? There's been even you look at like Micah Parsons' negotiation seems ongoing. One of the few big deals that happened at defensive end edge rusher was the Browns with Myles Garrett. Now look, I think Garrett's a good player, but let's be honest, if you're doing what the Cleveland Browns are doing in terms of roster strategy, team building strategy, that's not the right approach, right? What the Browns do, generally speaking, you want to do the opposite. I think we can all agree on that. So looking at this chart here, you can see that so far this offseason, $124 million, a little bit more, has been saved by teams cutting edge rushers. Again, the market is absolutely cratering. And when the market is cratering, it's the biggest advice, the best advice anyone will tell you. Don't sell your assets. Don't try and figure a way out of it. Don't try and move off of it. Hold on to it, right? Ride the wave. We know right now, by the time you're watching this video, if you're familiar at all with what's going on in the world, markets are tanking. Markets are volatile right now. Do you cut and run and sell and realize those losses and run for the hills? No, absolutely not. Is it the best time to buy? Maybe, maybe not. But I think at this point, if you just sit and wait and things will shake out and hold on to your assets, hold on to your stocks, your investments. In this case, if you're a football team, your players, let the market settle, see where you stand. Don't overreact. And I think that's what the Bengals are doing here with Katie Blackburn. They're saying, look, the market is tanking, Hendrickson. We let you seek a trade. Nobody wants to trade for you, right? No one wants to get you remotely close to what you want. And no one's saying Hendrickson's not a good player. It's just the market isn't there unless you're going to take $10 million a year. Leonard Floyd, a defensive end who is a good player, a double-digit sack guy, signed with the Atlanta Falcons on a 1-year hyper-friendly team deal, right? I think Hendrickson could get more than that, but not a whole lot more. He's thinking he's going to get, Garrett money, Crosby money. It just ain't happening. The market isn't there. There's only one Cleveland Browns organization out there that's throwing money the way at edge players, the way the Browns did with Garrett. It just ain't going to happen. And give the Bengals a lot of credit here. They actually stood to their guns here, and it will matter in the long term. Hendrickson should not be getting a long-term deal right now. They should not be throwing cash at him. It just ain't worth it. And it's nothing against Hendrickson as a player. That's just what the market is telling you what the Bengals should do. It's so important to understand this, right? A lot of people just sit there and say, he's a good player. I saw Mike Flory over at Pro Football Talk say this. He's a good player. He should get it. Just because you're a good player doesn't mean you're entitled to get a mega deal that you think you're worth. The marketplace drives your value. It's this way in the real world. It's this way when it comes to the National Football League. If there isn't a market for your services commensurate to what you think you should be worth, you are not going to get it. And that's why it was smart for the Bengals to let him test the market. And when the market came back and said, when I just saw on the graphic prior, I'll go back to it just one more time here, you can see people are running, kicking and screaming from edge rushers. No one wants to spend dollars on these guys. No one wanted to trade for Hendrickson. Even though he's on the last year of his deal, he's looking for a big extension. No one wants that, right? Only teams I think would give a flyer, hey, we'll send the Bengals a 6th-round pick or something like that, and then we'll give Hendrickson 1 year to see how it works out. That would obviously be a dumb move for Cincinnati. The Bengals here, I think, got a lot of flack for, and I think rightly so, for how they handled Jamar Chase, for how they handled T. Higgins. Here, Katie Blackburn and company, they're doing a great job. They're doing a phenomenal job. They're not falling victim to the temptation. There are some teams, I think the Dallas Cowboys are a good example of this, where when they get in a mode, when they get in a groove of what they're doing, right, they sign and extend one player, suddenly they feel like they got to sign and extend everybody, right? They're fully committed to the bid, right? The Bengals, Katie Blackburn, the entire leadership here, they did what they got to get. They did what they had to do with Chase and Higgins. They got it done. It was ugly. It was far from perfect. But when it comes to Hendrickson, don't fall into that trap of, well, we extended these two guys. We got to extend Hendrickson as well. Absolutely not. This is the right approach. Some people are critical of Katie Blackburn for going to the media and saying, well, Hendrickson's got to understand the marketplace. I think it's really important to put that out in public as well. It's not a matter of they don't want Hendrickson. It's not a matter of that they're continuing to shop him. It's that they've evaluated the market. Cincinnati has. Hendrickson has evaluated the market. His agent has. The rest of the National Football League knows the market. No one is willing to give Hendrickson what he wants. He's not going to get his deal unless Cincinnati caves and overpays. And I think a lot of credit, once again, I know I'm being kind of consistent here, or redundant here, I should say, but you got to give credit to the Bengals front office. We know Joe Burrow was heavily critical of, hey, they need to get deals done, they need to bring back good players, and they got it figured out with the wide receivers. But they're doing a good job making sure they don't make a mistake with Hendrickson, giving him more money than he's worth. Because if you look at his salary cap number situation right now, the Bengals are in a steal, right? They've got a player, veteran player, right around 30, 31 years old. In 2025, his salary cap hit is $18.7 million, right? According to overthetecap.com, his valuation is about $28 million. So they're getting a $10 million, more than 33% discount right now on Hendrickson. That's awesome. You did a great job. You gave him a 1-year extension a couple years ago. Phenomenal work, Cincinnati front office. You've got a great value player, but he's also on the other side of 30. Don't extend him. This is perfect. Great job. This is well done cap management. And Hendrickson, obviously, he's upset. He thinks he should be getting more money. The market is saying he's not. Don't give him money. You did a great job in terms of giving him a contract where you'll be here at the end of the deal in a phenomenal situation. Most teams, when you extend good players, sign good players, by the end of the deal, the team wants to cut and run because it's been so heavily backloaded. Not with Hendrickson. Very team-friendly deal. Worked out great. This is why you sign team-friendly deals. They structured this deal a few years ago. Hendrickson, his agent, they signed on the line that's dotted, right? They agreed to these terms. No one forced him to. There wasn't a gun to Hendrickson that said, hey, take this multi-million-dollar bonus check and this signing bonus right out the gate and all this guaranteed money. But at the end of the deal, it's going to suck if you have a really nice 2024 season and your cap hit isn't going to be as high as you want in terms of cash paid to you, salary only exclusively. I mean, if you look at next year, he's got his roster bonus, or this year, coming year, he's got his base salary of $16 million. His roster bonuses per game is $200,000. That's well under what he thinks he should be making, but no one is going to pay him that money. The Bengals did a great job when they gave him that deal a few years ago, the extension. Now they should reap the benefits of it, and that's exactly what they're doing. The only way they couldn't do that is if the entire marketplace said, listen, Hendrickson, we'll give him he's worth so much money. We want him, and then it would force the Bengals to probably have to make a move. But they're right. They did it right. They understood what their market is. They gave Hendrickson a deal that turned out to be team-friendly, and now they're sitting and sticking to their guns. It is the right move to make. There's a lot of people that are critical of Cincinnati for penny pinching, for not willing to spend the dollars. That was true 5 years ago. Ain't true anymore. Burrow, big deal. Chase, big deal. Higgins, big deal. They were throwing tens of millions of dollars into facilities, tens of millions of dollars in upgrade. They're not where they need to be, but it's undeniable they're trending in the right direction. This is not penny pinching, right? This is not being cheap. This is being a good franchise, roster management, cap management. Hendrickson, wrong side of 30 years old, coming up on 31 plus years, right? What you're gonna give him a 5-year extension worth $130 million or something ungodly with $90 million guaranteed, even though that wouldn't be the top of the market for defensive end. So that way at 34, you're paying $30 million to Hendrickson. No, of course not. No one's gonna do that. And the Bengals shouldn't, and they aren't. There's a lot of people, just to kind of put the button on this right here, that are very critical of Cincinnati for penny pinching once again, for being cheap once again. This is not the case, Bengals fans. This, for the first time in a long time, is the right move by the Cincinnati franchise. All right, by the end of the video, if you stuck around this long, give us your thoughts on what the Bengals should do with Trey Hendrickson. Do you think maybe they should extend him? Do you disagree with me, right? That's certainly valid. You know, this is all my opinion. Maybe you've got some other thoughts. Or do you really like what they're doing? Give us your thoughts on the Bengals-Hendrickson situation and just everything going on with Cincinnati. Really want to hear from you guys. But until next time, I'm Nick. Hopefully my co-host will be back. He should be back tomorrow. Certainly Bengals fans, you'll see him the next time we do a Bengals video. But until then, this has been Saturday Morning Inspection.